Today, I actually want to zoom out a little bit more and not just look at Beacon Lake. We want to look at Beacon Lake, but also look at Beachwalk and Creekside because we're kind of like a big happy family right here in this area. Because when you compare these three neighborhoods, the story gets a little more clear of what's happening here in this area. So here's my plain observation. The market is rewarding realistic sellers, not hopeful sellers, not the let's test the market first sellers, realistic sellers. So what do I mean by that? The people who price it right, the people who clean it up, the people who make it easy to show and pay attention to what buyers are actually doing. Those sellers still have a chance to win. But if you're pricing high and hoping the market catches up to you, I think that's the wrong move right now. And I'm saying that directly because I'm getting more and more messages from people asking me what's going on. Some are neighbors who are just watching the market. Some are thinking about selling later this year, and some have already listed their homes for sale with another agent. So if that's you, I'm not here to step on another agent's toes. And that's what I tell these people when they reach out. I'm not going to give you specific advice because you already have an agent. I don't want to step on toes, but I can give some more general thoughts based on what I'm seeing in the market. And here's the big one. If your home is sitting past the average days on market, there's a good chance it's priced, that you're overpriced. If you go 14 days without a showing, you're probably overpriced. And if you get like 10 showings, and you're not getting an offer, then buyers are trying to tell you something. They probably like the house, they just don't like the price. That may sound a little bit blunt, but it's a lot better to hear this early than hear this at 3 months and slowly chase the market down. So let's talk about numbers. Starting with Beacon Lake, in April, Beacon Lake had 32 active listings. There were 12 new listings and 4 homes went pending and 3 homes actually sold and closed. The median sales price was $650,000 and average days on the market was about 37 days. The sale to original list price ratio was 100.5, but again, a quick note on that number, that was due to it wasn't a bidding war type thing. That was due to one of our listings that we actually priced over and then gave it back in a credit. So they got list price, but it looks like it was higher than list price. So that's not like a big hype deal. That's just a smart deal structure. Year to date through April, Beacon Lake had 14 closed sales, like looking at the whole year so far. The year to date average sales price was $596,000. Average days on market to date was about 94 days. So April looked better on days on the market than the year to date average. But the bigger issue is inventory. Beacon Lake started January with 17 active listings. In April, it had 32. That is a really big shift. And when buyers have more choices, they act differently. They slow down, they compare, and they negotiate. They start asking, why this house and not the other house down the street? That's why I keep saying that pricing matters. If you overprice your home, you may not be helping yourself. You may be helping sell your neighbor's house. And that's not exactly the goal. Unless you're just feeling generous, which is very kind of you, but probably not a great financial strategy. Now, here's why I still think Beacon Lake is the strongest of the three. Fundamentally, the location is excellent. The schools are super close and the amenities are strong. The community is established and becoming more and more established. And while the CDD is a little bit higher than some of the other neighborhoods around here that have CDDs, the HOA is so much lower than a lot of those neighborhoods that it kind of balances out the higher CDD that we have in here. So when you're looking at the total package, Beacon Lake still makes sense for a lot of buyers, but Beacon Lake sellers still have to compete. And it's not just with other Beacon Lake homes, you're competing with resale homes in other neighborhoods, and you're still comparing with the model homes in places like Nocatee and Shearwater and Silverleaf and other neighborhoods around here that have new construction going on. So your house has to show well, and clean matters. If I can say it again, clean matters, condition matters, clutter matters, clean matters if I didn't say that already. The buyers don't have that just see past that mindset. Some buyers can, but a lot of buyers won't. Now, let's talk about Beachwalk. And I'm going to be very direct. Beachwalk feels vulnerable to me right now. Not at all because it's a bad community. It's not. It has those big, crazy big amenities It has a unique feel, and a lot of people just really love the lifestyle there. But there's a lot of inventory. In April, Beachwalk had 59, almost 60 active listings, and 15 of those were brand new listings. Only 5 homes went pending, 5 closed, and the median sales price in April was $768,000. Average days on market, 168 days. That number should be getting your attention. Year to date though, through April, Beachwalk has had 10 closed sales. The year-to-date median sales price was $549,000, and the year-to-date average sale price is $646,000. The average days on market year-to-date is 157 days, and that is a long time. Now, part of that is because Beachwalk has a wider range of homes and a wider range of prices. You have townhomes and single-family homes, you have higher-end homes, and all sorts of different levels of finish. So those numbers can bounce around a lot. But here's what my buyers keep telling me. A lot of them are struggling with like a fee to value equation. They see the fees and they ask, what am I getting for my fees over there? And for some buyers, they just don't see enough value there. They also ask me whether fees could go up or whether the offerings that they're getting for those fees could come down over time. And I'm not saying those fears are valid. I'm just saying that these are questions that buyers have been asking me lately. And so a seller needs to know that, because high fees are only a problem in the absence of value. If buyers believe that they're getting strong value, they'll accept the fees. But if they're already on the fence, then those fees become one more reason to hit pause. And in a market with a lot of inventory, pause can turn into pass. So that's the risk. If you're selling in Beachwalk, I wouldn't be casual at all about pricing. I wouldn't be casual at all about presentation, and I would not assume that the amenities alone are going to carry the sale. Buyers are constantly comparing, and Beachwalk has enough inventory that your home has to make a very clear case for itself. Now, let's talk about Creekside. Creekside is different because it's a little bit smaller. So the numbers can bounce around a little bit, but there's a lot of commonality between, the different home types. 1 or 2 sales can make a big difference in the stats though. April was actually pretty active. Creekside had 9 active listings in April, 8 of them were new listings, and 5 homes went pending, and 8 homes sold. The median sales price was about $454,000. Average days on the market was 60 days, and the sale to original price ratio was about 96.5%. Year to date through April, Creekside has had 14 closed sales. The year-to-date median sales price is about $463,000, and the year-to-date average sales price is $481,000. Average days on market year-to-date so far is 92. So Creekside isn't flying off the shelves either, but it has had a lot more movement relative to its size. And I think Creekside can still be attractive because of the location and because of the price point. For buyers who want to be in St. Johns County, close to County Road 210, close to the conveniences, and not necessarily pay some of the higher price points or fee structures in the nearby neighborhoods, Creekside makes a lot of sense. But again, condition, cleanliness, and pricing matters. This is not the market where buyers are ignoring obvious problems. Guess what? They have choices. Now, I want to hit something that a lot of people are getting wrong. Price per square foot matters, but buyers don't live in spreadsheets. And I think some agents out there are leaning way too hard on price per square foot. They look at a house and they say, well, this one is this much per foot, so this is how much we should offer. And that can be a useful starting point, but it also can be a little bit lazy sometimes, because upgrades matter, the lot matters, the condition matters, the floor plan matters, the view matters, and privacy matters. A house that is clean, upgraded, well-maintained, and easy to move into may deserve much more than basic price per square foot shows. And I've seen some buyers get talked into offering too low because someone reduced the whole house to just like a price per square foot mindset. Then they miss out on a home that they actually would have loved. And so, yeah, you don't want to leave money on the table. You don't want to overpay, but don't be so spreadsheet driven that you miss the house that fits your life. That matters too. For sellers, the takeaway is a little bit different. If you want top dollar You need to be able to give buyers a reason to choose your home, not just a reason to view it, a reason to actually choose it and write a contract. And right now, clean is not optional. I'll say it again. Clean, clean, clean. Scrub it, declutter it, fix those little things that you didn't fix before for whatever reason and you meant to. Make the yard look right, make the photos look amazing, amazing listing video, make the showing experience feel really easy. If I was selling my own house right now, I would get it as clean and simple as possible. I would strongly consider getting a pre-listing inspection, and I would make all the repairs up front. And then I would use that report and those repairs to strengthen my position when dealing with buyers. Instead of waiting for the buyer to find things and ask for a reduction later, I'd rather show them a house that looks and feels and actually have a report right here that it is ready. That gives me a stronger argument, not just a, please pay me more. More like, this house is ready. The work's already done and you can feel really good about what you're buying. That matters right now in this market. Now, if you have to sell in the next 90 days, this is what I would tell you. Don't test the market. I don't think this is a testing market right now. I don't think testing the market is wise. The first 14 days matter so much. That's when your listing is fresh. That's when buyers are noticing it. And that's when agents start sending things around. If you waste those first couple weeks with a high price and the market doesn't believe you, you don't get that attention back later. If you truly need to sell, I would rather list just under market and trust the market to correct upward than list too high and hope for your house to sell. That doesn't mean give the house away. It only means create urgency. It means make buyers feel like they need to act now to get that good deal of a house. And if you do choose to list a little high, then you need to be honest with yourself before you go live. If the market doesn't respond quickly, you need to be ready to make a meaningful price adjustment early. Not just a tiny little drop, a whole bunch of those that nobody really cares about. A real one. Get ahead of the market if it's moving down, because chasing the market is expensive. You're making those extra mortgage payments, you're losing time, and your listing starts to feel stale. That's not where you want to be. There are also some sellers who bought during the pandemic who are in a really tough spot right now. They may have a great interest rate, but their house may not be worth what they hoped it would be worth today. Some people are upside down in their houses, depending on when they bought and what they paid. And that's not a fun position to be in. The upside is that if you sell lower than you hoped, you may also be able to go and buy lower than you expected as well. And if you're looking at new construction, there may be rate incentives or closing cost help that helps soften that move. So it's not all bad, but you have to do the math. It's not emotional math, it's real math. And so here is my summary. Beacon Lake looks strongest to me fundamentally. Great location, strong amenities, schools close by, but inventory is up, and so sellers still need to stay sharp. Beachwalk has the most vulnerability in my opinion, not because it's bad, but because inventory is really high. Days on market are long, and buyers are questioning the value they're gonna get for their fees. Creekside is smaller and more price sensitive, but it had real activity in April, and it makes a lot of sense for certain buyers who want location and relative value. So across all three, the lesson's really the same. The market is not rewarding wishful thinking. It's rewarding realism, price it right, clean it up, and make it really easy to say yes to. And if the market gives you feedback, listen quickly. If you want a realistic look at what your home might sell for in this market, I'm happy to walk through it with you. No fantasy pricing, no panic pricing, just a real number and a real clear path forward.